Right there, state your full name for the judge. Andrew Thomas Iverson.
All right, Mr. Iverson. All right. The state is alleging 2 charges of disorderly conduct against you. Those are both misdemeanor violations that you have the right to remain silent, right to counsel, and right to trial on. I've scheduled you for an arraignment on the 24th of December at 9 o'clock. That's not a holiday, right? 24th?
It's Christmas Eve.
Oh.
We're here.
24th of December at 9 o'clock. That is where you'll need to be prepared to plead either guilty, not guilty, or no contest to those 2 charges of disorderly conduct. Depending on how you plead will be what happens next with the court proceeding, and all of those options, as well as the penalty range, will be explained to you prior to your taking your plea. Your release conditions are as follows: obey all orders of the court, do not commit any crimes, notify the court immediately of any address change, do not leave the state of Arizona without permission of the court, do not contact the alleged victims in any manner, and I'm ordering you to pretrial services. So what that is the probation department. Once you're released out of custody, I'll provide you a name and phone number to contact. Make sure you contact them as soon as you're released. They're expecting your call, and they're going to make sure and monitor you that you're obeying these release conditions and that you're appearing for court. So you're not on probation, you're just on release conditions. Any violation of to contact the probation department or violation of the release conditions can revoke your release. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Can you obey those release conditions I covered with
Yes,
you?
sir.
And you'll
Yes,
show up to court?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll release you on your own recognizance. Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, that'll be all then.
Okay. All right. State your full name for the judge.
Hello, Judge Santiago Daniel Martinez.
All right, Mr. Martinez, give me a moment here. All right, the state is alleging a total of 4 charges against you. 2 of them are felonies and 2 of them are misdemeanors. The 2 felony charges are possession of drug paraphernalia or use of drug paraphernalia, and the second charge is dangerous drug possession or use. The 2 misdemeanor charges are interfering with judicial proceedings filed under the domestic violence statute and DUI impaired to the slightest degree. On those charges, you have the right to remain silent, right to counsel, and right to trial. I've scheduled you for a 2-part hearing on both the felony and the misdemeanor violations on December 8th, 2025. Regarding the felonies, that's called a preliminary hearing, and that's scheduled at 4 o'clock. The preliminary hearing is to determine if there's probable cause to charge you with those felonies. If probable cause is found, your case will bind over to the Gila County Superior Court. and they'll take this position on the felony case. If probable cause is not found, then the felony charges could dismiss. There is a possibility that the felony charges will go in front of a grand jury prior to that or even after that. If that happens, they'll notify you by email that you do not need to appear in court. The best thing to do is to call a day ahead of time, a business day ahead of time, to see if you even need to appear on the felony side. But on the same date and time, you have to appear at 1:30. You can inquire then to see if this is still going. The appearance at 1:30 is for the misdemeanor violations. That's where you'll need to be prepared to plead either guilty, not guilty, or no contest to the 2 misdemeanor violations. Depending on how you plead will be what happens next with the court proceedings on the misdemeanors. All of those options, as well as the penalty range, will be explained to you prior to you giving your plea at the next hearing. Your release conditions is as follows. For misdemeanors and felonies, obey all orders of the court, do not commit any crimes, notify the court immediately of any address change, not to leave the state of Arizona without permission of the court. Regarding the misdemeanor violations, do not contact the alleged victim in any manner. On both of the charges, the misdemeanors and felonies, not to consume or possess any alcohol or drugs without a valid prescription. And regarding the felony allegations, because they're felony allegations, you're not to possess any firearms, and if you're convicted, you could become a prohibited possessor. Regarding the felonies, I'm placing a $2,000 bond hold. You remain in custody under that bond. On the misdemeanors, it's an additional $2,000, so a total bond of $4,000. Being that you're held in custody on the felony charges, you have the right to a court-appointed attorney if you cannot afford to hire one. So I'll be sending a financial statement to you to complete that. If you wish to have a court-appointed attorney at little or no cost to you, complete the financial statement, and if you qualify, an attorney will be assigned when a complaint files. So let me explain that process. Being that you're held in custody on the felony, the prosecutor has 48 hours to file a formal complaint on you, not counting weekends and holidays. And unfortunately, we're approaching both of those, a weekend and a holiday. 48 hours of business days, that is not included weekend and holidays. If we don't have a complaint, you'll be released on your own recognizance on the felony side of these charges. Okay, you won't need to come up with that bond. If they do file a complaint, what will happen is if you do qualify for the court-appointed attorney regarding your financial information, your attorney will be notified of your in-custody status, the charges made, the bond that is posted against you, and be in touch with you regarding the next proceeding. Okay? Yep. On the misdemeanor charges, again, that has a bond also of the $2,000. There is an attorney assigned to it. It's not for the case, and it's only to review the bond alone to make sure that it's a reasonable bond. If that attorney determines that it's not reasonable, then they'll request a hearing and you'll be notified of that. Do you have any questions of any of that information?
No questions.
Okay, that's all I have for you then, sir.
Thank you.
Page 4.
Austin James Hume.
Okay, sir, give me one moment. Let me get your case in front of us. All right, so I want to make you aware that you had charges that were filed and a complaint has been filed, and I want to review that with you. The bond has changed. Felony complaint filed by the Gila County Attorney's Office is charging you with count 1 of assault under domestic violence statute. Count 2 is criminal damage under the domestic violence statute. Count 3 is kidnapping under the domestic violence statute. Count 4 is preventing the use of a telephone in an emergency, and that's filed under the domestic violence statute. Count 5 is criminal trespass in the first degree, filed under the domestic violence statute. Count 6 is aggravated assault, filed under the domestic violence statute. Count 7 is burglary in the third degree, that's filed under the domestic violence statute. Count 5 is a class 6 felony, that's the criminal trespass. Count 6, the aggravated assault, is also a class 6 felony. Count 7, which is the burglary, that's a class 3 felony. Count 3 is a class 4 felony, and that's the kidnapping violation. And the criminal damage which is a count 2. That's a class 6 felony. The rest of them are misdemeanor violations. The bond has been changed to a $25,000 bond on you. And let me check to see if that is a cash security or... Nope, just a $25,000 bond. It is still bail bond eligible. Do you understand that, sir?
Yes.
All right. And then you still have the two misdemeanor charges as well, of the preventing the use of a telephone in an emergency situation and the assault. Do you have any questions of that information that I just discussed with you?
No.
Okay, so your new court date is December 3rd, 2025 at 3 o'clock p.m.
All right.
All right, that's all I have for you, sir.
All right.
All right, thank you, Judge.
You betcha, and I'll get you copies of all this.
Yes, sir.
All right.